for accomplishment. And moving forward, the DICT-9 and Basulta will ensure the progressive implementation of all its programs and projects to sustain and maintain what has been established and to expand to reach out to more in a bid to really bring to the ground the promise of ICT, ang Bayang Digital. Likewise, as I had espoused earlier, we stand resolute on the importance of partnerships. It is crucial for the government and all stakeholders, including our friends and partners in the media, to believe in the transformative potential of ICT. Digital transformation is a shared mission between government and all stakeholders to foster an enabling environment that will allow people, communities, and technologies to flourish towards a Bayang Digital. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much po, Director Ortega, for presenting to us yung ating accomplishment report from your department, from your office. I believe marami po tayong mga nakuhang important or mga idea on what the ICT is doing here in our region. And now, we will proceed with our question and answer, and we will be receiving questions po from our media partners all over Zamboanga Peninsula. And I will start reading po muna yung ating mga online questions or ating mga media po watching online, and then we will proceed with our partners here po in Zamboanga City. So we have a question first po from Basilan or Isabela City. While the installation of free Wi-Fi in Basilan is a significant step towards improving connectivity, many residents have reported issues with unreliable connections and weak signals. What specific plans does the department have in place to address these connectivity challenges, and how do you intend to assess and improve the overall reliability of the service in the province? Anyone?
Okay, for one, through our national broadband program, we are doing, there are quite some initiatives on the pipeline. And the MVP plan is set to be rolled out in Zamboanga Peninsula in 2026. And this will significantly enhance internet bandwidth. In fact, we are already coordinating with some local service providers, like for example, in trying to establish more towers that will allow us to connect and strengthen the connectivity connection from Zamboanga to Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. This will declog the traffic so that the quality of internet connectivity and speed will be enhanced. And the proposed initiatives will particularly focus, as I've said, in Basulta.
Any addition po?
Just to add doon sa sinabi ni Director, sa ngayon, we are implementing yung mga Starlink just to provide internet connectivity dyan sa island ng Basilan. But then, eventually, meron tayong program sa MVP, and hopefully, this will be realized by next year. Kapag-start na tayo mag-implement and magamit na ito ng mga, we can relay much more higher bandwidth of the current island ng Basilan.
May follow-up po tayo still from Isabela City, Basilan. Given the ongoing concerns po about poor signal quality despite the availability of free Wi-Fi in Basilan, can you share any timelines or strategies for potential upgrades to the infrastructure? Are they any collaborations with local internet service providers or technology partners being considered to enhance connectivity in underserved areas?
Yeah, for one, we are mandated to really put in place free Wi-Fi year after year, year after year. So it's a continuing thing. And for sure, Basilan is included. And aside from that, we're also, we're coordinating with the local service provider because we do believe in partnership, that we have to get involved with our partners because we cannot do this alone. And as I mentioned earlier in the previous question, we are indeed coordinating with the local service providers, particularly in the setting up of their towers. It's either they build their towers, we lease the towers, or ourselves will also build alongside with our stakeholders, all together build the towers, so that hands-on, we can strengthen and facilitate the connectivity from our main pub in Zamboanga all the way to Basilan and even up to Sulu and Tawi-Tawi. And aside from that, even from our own initiatives, we have our own equipment. And for example, and Jacob and piggyback on that or uptail that, we will be establishing our own radios and antennas to connect Zamboanga to Lamitan also.
Thank you po. Next question will be from Zamboanga del Norte. Actually, related lang po yung questions nila. This is also connected to the connectivity po, no, internet access po sa ating mga areas. So for Zamboanga del Norte, ang concern po nila is areas that have yet to have stable access to internet due to poor network, especially in Triple SB. What are the interventions po that we have done so far regarding these concerns? And in terms of ICT assistance to GIDA areas, do we have data on programs implemented on this, and how are we sustaining such?
As to the details, I defer to Jacob on this as to how far we have gone to the geographically isolated disadvantaged areas in this triple SB. No?
Thank you very much for that. No? For Triple SB, Siocon, Sibuku, Sirawai, Balikian, so far we have implemented the pre-Wi-Fi project, no? With 3 APs per municipality. Considering that we can just do so much, no, kasi konti lang din yung budget na download sa atin. But again, no, we're trying our best to really complement, no, kung ano yung ginagawa ng mga private sectors. Bibigay tayo ng free Wi-Fi. We have 1 in Baligian, 3 in Sibuku, 3 in Sirawai, and of course, meron din tayong 7 in Siocon. And aside from that, meron din tayong mga tech work centers, no? Doon in these localities. No, we have in Sirawai Tech Work Center, we have Kawit National High School Tech Work Centers, Alamudia National High School Tech Work Center in Baligian, and also Siocon Tech Work Centers. Although we have yet to improve some of these tech work centers.
Thank you po, Sir Jacob. Follow-up po, still from Zamboanga del Norte. In the whole pie of the ICT budget allocated to the ICT this year, which program takes a big chunk?
Particularly, it would be the free Wi-Fi because there's an enabling law for that. And among the provisions of the law is the provision of the budget. While this is distributed among the different regions, but that takes the lion's share of all the different programs and projects that the ICT is implementing.
So, another po follow-up, last na po from Zamboanga del Norte. What proposals po do you have that we can anticipate for the year 2025 to 2026 that the communities can benefit from? Do we have new innovations on ICT to look forward to? Going back to our earlier answer, that we're trying to put in place a better, a stronger infrastructure connecting Zamboanga, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. Talks are in the offing, arrangements are being made among our regional office, the central office, and even some of our partners from the private sector to include even the USD PICOM. So this is one initiative that it will come into fruition by next year. Then that would significantly improve the connectivity in these targeted island provinces.
Just to add, no, meron din tayong new program na tinatawag na Smart Village, Smart Islands. We have also identified municipalities or barangays in these areas to be as Smart Village, Smart Islands. So yung yung ating mga programa ay nakapokus doon sa mga islands na yun or sa mga Smart Village, Smart Islands na yun. Like for example, we have in Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur. I think in all provinces in Region 9 and Basulta, meron po tayong Smart Village. We're introducing Smart Village, Smart Islands. Just like yung nakita niyo kanina doon sa ABP, yung sa Sakon na ginawa natin. We're also doing that in these different islands.
Thank you po.
Yeah, if I may add to that, the SBSI initiative or the Smart Village, Smart Island initiative had Sakol Island as the pilot site. And this is in coordination with the International Telecommunications Union. And banking on the success of the Sakon Island as an SBSI, which is actually parang it's a whole of nation approach, a bayanihan approach where DICT, key government agencies, the private sector have convened and contributed to transforming that Jida island of Sakol into a smart one. So the DICT has committed to explore and expand this SBSI. And for our region in particular, while we were just asked to commit 3 SBSIs in addition to Sakon, we have committed to establish at least one in each province. But in some provinces where we see the need and the impact of the establishment of such, we even had more than one.
Thank you very much po for sharing that with us. Next question naman po is from Zamboanga del Sur. What is the target speed and reliability of the free Wi-Fi services installed in Zamboanga del Sur and how it is maintained?
Okay, well, it's a good question, no? Sa ngayon kasi we're using the Starlink technology to implement, especially dun sa mga GIDA areas in Zamboanga del Sur. But we are also considering the use of the facilities of the telcos. Actually, different technologies ang ginamit natin. We use the facilities of telcos, which provides at least yung 10 Mbps. No? Pero ano to siya, CIR, meaning to say, omitted information rate. Meaning to say, hindi siya bababa doon sa 10 Mbps. But for lower rate satellites like Starlink, nasa ano siya, ranging from 50 Mbps to 100 Mbps or even 200 Mbps po yung binibigay ni Starlink.
Follow up po to that, Engineer, are there mechanisms po to address connectivity issues such as repairs or technical support?
Well, ito naman ay managed internet service, no? Nakaano kami sa mga contractor namin, service provider. Tapos, we are monitoring these sites. No? Pag, in the event na may mga technical issues na monitor namin, nire-report namin kaagad sa aming mga service provider. And meron kaming tinatawag na SLA, okay, dapat ma-repair nito kaagad no? Within few hours or within few days.
Thank you po. Next po, what cybersecurity protocols are implemented to protect users' data while using the free Wi-Fi service?
Well, eto no, while we are implementing itong mga free Wi-Fi, considering na marami din gumagamit ng mga internet ngayon, so and then nandiyan din naglipana yung mga scammers, yung mga hackers. So in our case, no, doon sa server side namin, we implement yung tinatawag na filtering of yung mga sites, and then we also implemented yung mga firewalls. So ito ay ano lang, no, from the infrastructure level. Pagdating sa user level, kailangan din nilang maging vigilant, no? They have to be vigilant. Lalo na ngayon, napakauso yung mga phishing. Hindi natin makontrol yan, no? So dapat, sabi nga nila, yung pinaka-vulnerable na attack is yung human, no? Kaya they are using social engineering. Ibig sabihin, gumagamit sila ng mga social media, gumagamit sila ng emails to attack users. So ang nangyayari, well, kami, we can protect no, our facilities by implementing itong mga gadgets na to. But pagdating sa user, what we can do is, tawag nito, promote awareness and trainings. And siguro naman, yung sa ating mga users, dapat din sila maging vigilant. Hindi lang yung like mag-click, especially if it is not, hindi nila kilala kung sino nag-send sa kanila.
Thank you po. Actually, the next question is from Zamboanga Sibugay. Related po dyan sa inyong sinagot po on scams, no? Sa ating mga cybersecurity threats. So ito yung kanyang question din na how does the DICT collaborate with telecommunication companies, law enforcement po, and other stakeholders to address po ito ng ating mga cybersecurity threats?
Okay. Sandali lang Meron pong ginagawa yung ating ahensya no in coordinating with the telcos. para mabawasan itong mga phishing and scams, no? Una-una, kung makikita, maano nyo ngayon, mapapansin niyo some telcos are now using yung multi-factor authentication. Pag halimbawa, pag nagpapalit kayo ng mga passwords, di ba? Dapat may iba pang email, tapos may sinisend silang information doon for you to confirm na ikaw nga yung nagpapalit ng password, or even text you, no? To give you some code to do the. So these are just some of the initiatives that that the ICT is doing, talking to the telcos, making sure that our cyber is safe, for everyone.
In addition to that, NTC as one of the attached agencies of the ICT have been collaborating with the telcos to ensure na magkaroon ng mga media blast to inform our subscribers to be vigilant and to be cautious. Not just to click any link that is sent to their emails or text messages, but for them to think before they click. And also, even in the emails, to be more vigilant and cautious, verify before you trust.
Thank you po. Have you seen impact po ba sa ating SIM registration program po? Ano po yung contribution ng DICT din po on that sa ating SIM registration para po maiwasan nga yung ating yung pag-enforce po ng pag-iwas ng scams po?
Yeah, with the SIM card registration, it aims to actually put attribution to the ownership of the SIM card, which is recorded in the database. So more or less, this is a deterrent, for whoever is the owner is to use it in a malicious way. Although somehow, meron pa rin mga scammers or yung mga kasamahan natin, or not kasamahan, may mga tao dyan who still would have that malicious intent. And sometimes it has been reported to the DICT that itong mga scammers na to pala, kasi makikita mo yung mga scams nila, the question will still linger on your mind. Bakit registered na yung SIM, pero meron pa rin mga scammers? So, what's the effect of having our SIM registered? Yung pala, there are these people who will go around, go to the SIM owners, provide a higher pay for the SIM cards. And taking that SIM card, unknowingly, yung nagbenta naman, hindi nila alam na yung identity nila is compromised kasi yun yung ginagamit sa pagpapadala ng SIM. So, we enjoin all the SIM card owners, particularly who are those vulnerable ones who might succumb to the temptation of selling their duly registered SIM cards for a higher price, to be more vigilant and cautious.
Actually, thank you po for informing that to us kasi that's one of the techniques pala ngayon ng ating mga scammers, para makapag-victimize sila ng ating mga residents, mga vulnerable residents. Thank you po, Ardy, for sharing that. Next question po is from Sir June Francisco of Mindanao News. Actually, nasagot na po natin yung regarding the concern on digital divide po sa ating mga underserved communities. Next question po niya is, how is DICT9 promoting the adoption of emerging technologies po like artificial intelligence, blockchain, or other innovative solutions to drive regional development?
Yeah, we do have a special program under our training arm in the DICT where emerging technologies are being espoused. We do free trainings and even scholarships on artificial intelligence, blockchain, Internet of Things. We even partner with Google para magkaroon din ng mga certification trainings on these emerging technologies. So having said that, we encourage everybody to visit our website and see to it what are the different programs and services that we have for you for the ground. Nandiyan lang po yun at libre po ang mga ito.
Thank you very much po. Now, we will proceed with the questions po from our media partners here in Zamboanga City na kasama natin ngayon sa ating venue. So, let's first call Ms. Sarah. We have Ms. Sarah Tulabing of the XAS.
Good morning po, ma'am and sir. Sa darating po na election, ano po yung preparation meron ng DICT?
For one, in fact, even at the regional level, we're already providing training sa mga personnel ng COMELEC, particularly on the public key infrastructure, where after the training, they will be provided with their own digital signature, which will be used in their emails or in the data exchange. Kasi talagang magkakaroon ng exchange ng data of the different voters and the votes. So with the incorporation of this public key infrastructure or digital signature, it will be ensured that what would be transmitted are true and correct.
Para mas maintindihan po ng public at ma-explain namin, ano po ba yung mga possibilities mga challenges na pwedeng mangyari na under po sa DICT during election. At syempre, ayaw natin na mangyari po yun para mas mapaliwanag lang po namin.
I have not been on the ground, sina Jacob nandyan, pero I have heard, for example, syempre yung mga SD cards natin or mga USBs kung saan nakastore yung mga data, tapos for the transmission, minsan nagkakaroon ng technical problem. So DICT would be deployed in the different locations to assist para ma-address po kaagad at walang delay na mangyayari sa transmission at masisafeguard rin kung ano yung data nandoon would be still transmitted as is where is. So the ICT would be there to provide the technical assistance. The ICT is also providing our data center for the collocation of the servers and equipment of the key relevant agencies involved in the election. Maybe Jacob can expound what's been actually on the ground during election where the ICT has been going around to ensure our provision of technical assistance.
Yeah. Tama po yung Arlene, yung nabanggit niyo kanina that we are providing tech support during elections. Or even actually during at saka yung post, nagbibigay tayo ng tech support. And nabanggit na rin ni Arlene kanina yung mga possible na mga technical problems and nasusolusyonan po yung kaagad. Naka-ready po yung ating team to provide tech support in coordination with the COMELEC as well as yung mga supplier ng mga machines.
Okay. Another issue po, dito po sa under po isang resulta ng DICT, ilang porsyento na po ang may magandang internet connection po? And then para pong yung natitira, meaning yun po yung mga areas na wala pa tayong internet. So ilan na po lugar o ilang porsyento na po sa isang resulta ang meron na pong access sa internet?
Okay, well, doon sa initiative ni DICT, halos lahat po, halos 100% po ng provinces and or municipalities and cities ay nabigyan na po ni DICT ng internet connectivity. But if you're asking yung coverage ng mga telcos, well, hindi po namin masasagot sa ngayon. Perhaps we can get data from the telcos kung ano yung penetration nila. But as far as DICT is concerned, na-penetrate na po natin lahat. Although, sabi ko nga kanina na we can just do so much. Meron po tayong penetration dyan, but kukunti pa lang.
Thank you very much po, Ma'am Sarah. Next po, we have Heart Grace Molenyo of eMedia.
Hello, sir. My question is, how is the DICT addressing cybersecurity risks with fintech platforms like GCash, especially in the light of recent incident?
Medyo hot issue nga yung GCash, no? Unfortunately, with the current role of the ICT is medyo limited. We don't have parang audit mandate sa mga GCash and other fintech. So what we do is just to do some awareness and advocacy for all concerned na to be vigilant. Huwag basta-basta magpapaniwala sa yung mga true good to be true na click this and you will win or you'll get something. Investigate or verify the veracity. Pero insofar as GCash is concerned, it has been reported to the ICT. There is no data breach. don't worry, safe po yung mga data natin. It's an internal issue on phishing. Ito nga yun, yung mga malicious link para yung mga pera na transfer if you click. So, when you click, nawawala na yung accountability kasi parang binigay mo yung permission mo. Kaya ito talaga, be vigilant, be cautious, think before you click.
What measure are in place to ensure the public trust in digital payment platforms?
Like GCash.
Yung mga digital payment platforms na meron tayo ngayon.
Yeah, they do have their own safeguards, firewalls and all, no? Pero